So something just occurred to me a few minutes ago, and I don't really know what to do with this. So if you have any theories, feel free to message in the comment section below. Matter of fact, please like this video right now. I've heard that if you like the video early on in the video, it's actually better for the algorithm. But I've just got some thoughts here that they've kind of blown my mind a little bit, and I want you to go back in time in your mind. That's one of the beautiful things about our minds. We can go back in time and put yourself in, late February, early March. And what were we doing, right? Do you remember what we were doing? I remember what we were doing. I was sitting in this very basement. Things looked a lot different. I didn't have these walls, things are a lot dirtier down here, and everything was more makeshift than it is right now. I just moved, right? And what was I doing? Do you remember I was doing videos? This is when I first started doing them in black and white. And we were all looking at a map of the United States, right? We're all looking at this map, and there's bright colors. The one I used to look at was all red. It was these red circles, you know what I mean? And there were small red circles, and then there was bigger red circles, and it was all just very confusing. Like, what does this red circle mean? How many cases does this one represent? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the circle looks bigger. That certainly seems scarier, and it's red too. I mean, red is like the scariest color of all. And then I remember one time they actually changed the color on the map. I think it was was it blue or green? I don't really remember, but they changed the color on the map, and things looked a lot different and all that kind of thing. And they had yellow because cases that were recovering. It was green. It was green was the recovering cases. And we were all just refreshing this map constantly. Oh, how many cases in your county? Well, I only have 2 cases in my county, 2 new cases, but there's 2 recovering. So, now we can see that the curve is flat, but there's more cases in New York, and we were just we didn't know what the heck was going on. It was all confusion. That's what it was. It was just confusion. We're looking at this map, and the thing that we're thinking in our minds is that this map is trustworthy, right? We're assuming that the information and the data that's going into this map is the real information. I mean, why would they lie to us, right? But we were so conditioned. My goodness, we are so conditioned to just accept every piece of information that they want to just shove down our gullets. We're just conditioned at this point to accept it. I mean, it's just well, why would they lie to us, right? Why would this map be fake? Why would this map with the big red scary circles be fake? I remember one time when they adjusted the size of the circles so that they could add more cases and it would look fuller. So the circles were smaller, but there was a lot more red on the map. And before you knew it, it was just a big red map. And all these decisions that get made, and how do we get to these maps that we're looking at? And just we just assume that the information's true, and it's almost like shameful to even ask the question, right? How do I know that any of this is true? This could be just one big psyop. I would have no idea. I mean, yeah, sure, I've known some people that have been sick with what they said was coronavirus. I'm not saying that the coronavirus is not real, but all the data and the map that we're just constantly refreshing. I used to check that map quite often, even though I was never really that scared of coronavirus. I used to check the map dutifully multiple times a day. Maybe you can remember what you were doing back then. And now we're in the end of 2020, and we're looking at a map again. And we're looking at the map and the different, you can get the one with just the states and the one with the counties. And the Fox News is calling Arizona for the Democrats, but really he doesn't really have it. And it's well, how do you decide who calls? Well, you could look at my methodology, and nobody knows what that stuff means, the methodology. Who can interpret that? So it's well, yeah, we knew that Virginia was going to Biden, even though the polls weren't closed, even though Trump was leading. But we definitely didn't know Trump was winning Florida, even though he was leading. And many of the polls had, it's just all fake. It's all nonsense. It's a fantasy. They're spinning this yarn, and they've got us suckling at the teat of whatever information they want to give us, and we're just refreshing this map. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I've heard people are doing this. They're just refreshing their 270 to win map just to see, is there still a chance? And this is the thing. People are wondering, man, how is it that they've just cheated like this? Well, they just cheated. The Democrats didn't really win. They just cheated. Who cares? If they won by cheating or if they won by not cheating, what's the difference? They won. right? So the thing is, like the fact that the Democrats were going to cheat in the election is the most obvious fact that anyone could ever know. And so it's like, you got to factor that in. You got to do something to stop it. I mean, Trump was the president of the United States of America. He is the president of the United States of America. You're telling me he can't figure out how to stop the Democrats from cheating on the election? I mean, if he really can't, then that's a big problem. I mean, he's not as cunning as we thought he was. But I just can't. That's the thing. Well, they're just cheating. They can't win without cheating. Okay, fine. But, like, don't get so uppity about it. You know, they're pagans. They're going to cheat. You got to factor that in. You got to be more cunning than that. It's like if you had like you play games with your brother, right? And you know your brother is constantly cheating in board games. And then you have a board game that you really want to win. Let's just say you like bet, I don't know, your allowance on it or something. And you know your brother's a cheater. He cheats all the time, right? And this time you bet your allowance on it. So it's like all of a sudden you have to go to the bathroom, right? You have to go to the bathroom and the board game is right there. And you're like, knowing that he cheats, like you need to now figure out how to make sure you can still win this game. And so you say, all right, listen, I don't trust you. We got our allowance on this. I got to go to the bathroom. You got to come into the room with me. I know it's gross, but I don't trust you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's got to be something you can do. People are asking on Twitter, you know, I keep seeing this. Well, what can we do? What do we do? Like, what can be done about this? The Democrats are staging a coup d'etat. Coup d'etat. I mean, what do you? Why are you asking me? I'm a YouTuber. I don't know what to do, but something has to be done, right? You got to factor this into your calculations, into your maneuverings. Like the fact that the Democrats were going to randomly find a big box of only Biden votes, 100,000 votes, and they're all for Biden all at once. The fact that they were going to do that. Like, you have to anticipate that kind of stuff. Listen, this is the thing. Like, I think this is what Christ was talking about when you need to be shrewd as a serpent but innocent as a dove. Like, you need to factor this kind of stuff in. We need to find some cunning, right? That's the thing. That's how Christianity is going to go forward. We need to go forward with the message of the gospel, of course. The Holy Spirit will protect us. Christ will protect us. But we need to find our shrewdness, my friend. And the reality is, Big Eva's not going to prepare you for this. Big Eva's still clicking on the coronavirus map. They're still back in March. We're clicking on this map, trying to see the case number. Oh, case number. Can we open up church? Let's see. Let's find the case number. It's like they're still back in March. Like they're not ready for what's happening right now, right? They're not ready for it. The thing is, none of us are guiltless here, right? Because I'm still looking at a map. It's just a different map. They got a different brightly colored map that they drew my attention over here. So over here, I was on the coronavirus map, and then I stopped that. I gave that up pretty quickly. But they dangled another map over here in November, and I'm let's refresh it. They got me. They got me on that one. There's no question. There's no question about it. They got me on that one. And I'm not trying to insult anyone that cares. I obviously care about the election, right? But complaining about the Democrats cheating is not going to fix anything. It's not going to do anything. And look, I realize that there's all kinds of lawsuits that are going to happen. We're going to see nobody knows what's going to happen. I get it. Nobody knows. But what I'm saying though is that we need to establish some kind of training in strategic planning, or some kind of shrewdness training, some kind of cunning. And I just don't think, when you look at the landscape of Big Eva and evangelicalism right now, and our leaders and stuff like that, they're just not equipped to teach you to get the cunning that you're gonna need in order to survive in the next decades and things like that. Look, don't get too uppity about this. If the Democrats win, and they cheated, it wasn't fair and square. Look, that's just life. You got to win one way or the other, right? I'm not saying that we need to start cheating and stuff like that, but we do need to, have some kind of a countermeasure to this kind of stuff. I mean, it's possible. I don't have the answer. I'm a YouTuber, right? I'm not in the upper echelons of this kind of thing, but we need to start thinking in a way that's very different than the way we've thought in the past. There's just no question about it. The things that have worked in the past are not going to work in the future. We need to start changing the game a little bit, flipping the script a little bit, and I don't think that sucking at the teat of mainstream media's maps, whatever the next map they show you is going to work. We're not going to necessarily get anywhere by continuing to allow the mainstream media to frame how we view things. And this is hard, man, because we've been conditioned since we were a little kid, right? Since I was a little boy in kindergarten, conditioned to accept what my authorities told me, was the case. And the fact is, it's just they've abused that. There's no reason to do it anymore. So, whatever Joe Carter calls you, conspiracy theorist, because you don't believe the official story, put that kind of stuff in your rear view mirror, because it's worthless. Joe Carter and the like, they're just not going to equip you to deal with things the way you need to deal with them going forward. I hope you found this video helpful. God bless.